Hello and welcome to the final episode of Bake Talk. My name is Aleksia and today I'll be talking all about cake. I'll start with Marie Antoinette and her famous quote, "Let them eat cake," some cake trivia with today's guest Layla, talking about some tips to help with your cakes, and wrapping up the day with some fun facts about cake. Let's get started. Did Marie Antoinette really say, "Let them eat cake"? The answer is probably not. Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France during the French Revolution, and the story goes that "let them eat cake" was her response to being told that her starving peasant subjects had no bread. Cake was more expensive than bread at the time, and the tale has been cited that as an example of Marie Antoinette's obliviousness to the conditions and daily lives of ordinary people. The original French saying that she is supposed to have said, "qu'ils mangent de la brioche," doesn't really translate to "let them eat cake." It translates to "let them eat brioche," the rich bread made with eggs and butter that is almost as luxurious as cake. But there is no historical evidence that Marie Antoinette even said "qu'ils mangent de la brioche" or anything similar to that. So, where did this quote come from, and why was it associated with Marie? Well, folklore scholars have found similar stories in other parts of the world, like in Germany. The first person to put the phrase "qu'ils mangent de la brioche" into print could have been French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In Book 6 of Rousseau's Confessions, he talks about a version of the story attributing the quote to a great princess. Marie was a princess at the time that he wrote it, but it was highly unlikely he was talking about Marie. Since the writings of Rousseau inspired some of the rebels for the French Revolution, it has been assumed that they picked up on this quote, accredited it to Marie Antoinette, and spread it as propaganda to rouse opposition of the monarchy. Contemporary researchers are skeptical of these claims, since they have found no evidence of the phrase "qu'ils mangent de la brioche" in newspapers, pamphlets, or anything else the rebels published. Funnily enough, the earliest known source connecting this quote to Marie Antoinette was published after the French Revolution. French writer Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Karr found the quote in a book dated 1760 and said it proved this rumor about Marie Antoinette was false. If you don't believe anything else I just said, you think I'm completely lying, you can look it up yourself in the online Britannica article, "Did Marie Antoinette really say 'let them eat cake'?" I personally did not know the majority of what I just shared, and I hope you learned something new too. Next up, some cake trivia with today's guest, Layla. Okay, so I have Layla with me, someone who makes their family homemade cakes. Before the trivia starts, I'll ask a few questions about herself as a baker. So, what sparked your interest in baking, or how did you start?
I started baking in 5th grade during COVID times, so I guess I was just bored and wanted to bake. I like cooking too, so it's kind of similar.
That makes sense. What's your signature thing to make at home?
So baking-wise, I always make, my family really likes Black Forest cakes, so I make those a lot.
That sounds fun.
And then for if you're kind of in general things to make, I like making pasta.
That's cool. What are your favorite flavor combinations for a cake?
So like I said, Black Forest. I like making carrot cakes. I also like making pies and stuff like that too. For my dad, I'm going to make him a lemon meringue pie
Oh, that sounds fun.
his birthday in a couple days.
What kinds of flavors do you want to experiment with next?
I really like raspberry and lemon and stuff like that, so stuff like that.
Are there any kinds of cake that you really like making or really don't like making? Elaborate.
Well, I've not really made that many different flavors of cakes. I mainly make chocolate or vanilla cakes with different flavors and frostings. I have this one recipe that my grandma gave me for chocolate cake and it's really good. So I haven't really experimented that much.
What is your most challenging cake, and how did you get through it?
So one of my friends and I this summer made the chocolate cake from the summer I turned pretty, and it just started melting everywhere because I didn't have the right ingredients for the chocolate ganache.
Oh no.
But I ended up just having to let it pour off and then clean it up until it
Oh, that sounds quite messy.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the trivia. What is the first layer of frosting applied to a cake called?
Crumb coat.
Yep, that was fast. Good job. What day is National Cake Day in the U.S.?
May 14th.
It's a completely random day. It's November 26th.
Oh, okay.
What kind of frosting is traditionally paired with red velvet?
Cream cheese.
Yeah.
That took me a minute, but...
What fruit is the classic topping for a traditional pineapple upside down? Wait. Sorry,
An upside down cake?
Not upside down. I just spoiled the answer for you, but that's okay. In some cultures, what is hidden inside of a king cake for Mardi Gras?
A baby.
What happens when they get the baby?
They have to make or bring the cake next year.
Before whisks were invented, do you know what was used to beat egg whites?
Was it a fork or was it something like absurd?
It's a little bit absurd. It's a bundle of twigs or a sponge. I talked about this previously in the podcast. Who is famously credited with saying, "Let them eat cake"?
Wasn't it? I learned this in history class, but I don't remember who necessarily. It was a woman. Was she a queen?
Yes, I'll give you a hint. She was French.
That doesn't help. I don't know.
It was Marie Antoinette. Okay. I learned some new stuff about you, and I hope you learned something from the trivia. Thank you, Layla, for joining me, and I wish you luck with your future baking in case you ever decide to make the Summer I Turned Pretty cake again.
Oh, no.
Up next, we have some tips for cake baking and decorating. If your cakes don't always turn out the best, here's some tips that might help. Number 1, use room temperature ingredients. Butter, eggs, and milk mix better at room temperature for a smooth batter. Number 2, precise measuring. Use a food scale to weigh out exact proportions or level off dry ingredients for even measurements. Number 3, prep your pans. Grease and line your cake pans with parchment paper so that the cakes release the batter better. Number 4, don't overmix. Mix the batter just until the dry ingredients are combined so you don't get a thick or glutinous cake. Number 5, mise en place. This is French for measure out all your ingredients and have all tools ready before starting. Number 6, oven heating. Bake your cakes on the middle oven rack for even heating and cooking. Number 7, cooling. Partially cool your cake in the pan, then transfer to a wire rack or silicone sheet for about 20 minutes. And number 8, the final one, crumb coat. Apply a thin layer of frosting to seal in the crumbs and make it look neater before frosting. I hope these tips help make your future cakes better, and to wrap up today, I will be sharing just some fun facts about cake. Here are some cool facts about cake that you might not have known. The first chocolate cake was not actually sweet. German chocolate cake, the famous chocolate cake that's quite decadent, was not actually invented by a German person. It was invented by an American baker named Sam German. The world's tallest cake was 108 feet tall. Placing a cake under a pillow was thought to bring dreams of a future spouse back in old times. The original birthday cake was a dense bread-like cake. In ancient times, blowing out candles on a cake was believed to send prayers to the heavens. The first tiered wedding cake was for Queen Victoria's daughter in 1858. Honey was the primary sweetener in ancient cakes because they didn't use sugar that much, or really they didn't have it. If you didn't know anything like that, now you do. That's all for the third and final episode of Bake Talk. I talked about the famous French queen Marie Antoinette. I had some cake trivia questions with my guest Layla. I gave you some tips to help with your cakes and wrapped up with some fun facts about cake. Thanks again to Layla for joining me, and thanks for listening. This was Bake Talk with Aleksia, signing off.